Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Legit Builds. I was reading my comments. Thank you very much for everybody who left comments, and I always read all of them. One of them actually stood up because it was like negative feedback from Samuel Dennett. So he said that one of my videos was bad because I was not showing the gameplay with the build, and I think that's fair. So from here on, I'm gonna go ahead and move a bit around what the videos are gonna be doing. So at first, we're gonna discuss the build real quick, and then we're gonna add like 10-15 minutes of gameplay so that you can see the build in action. Of course, I haven't been just sitting here building builds and showing them to you without before testing them, but I mean, since it's a video, let's go ahead and add some action to it. So we're gonna explain first the build, and then we're gonna move into some gameplay, okay? So as an apologies, I'm gonna be sharing with with you guys my main build. This is normally what I like running around. It is my friends call it the Stormtrooper build, and it is basically a hunter challenger build, focused solely on the plasma cutter. So basically the plasma cutter is a very good weapon for DPS. The longer you focus on a target, the more damage you do. It can overheat, however. We have a ring for that. But the weapon is very solid. Now remember that because we are a gunsling, since we are a hunter, we do have long shot, which increases 6 meters ideal range of our weapons. So 6 meters, that means that this is actually a 19-meter rupture cannon, and this is actually a 23-meter plasma cutter. So take that into consideration. The increased range is very important. Additionally, thanks to the Challenger Strongback, we can carry good armor to not only look cool but also giving us a very respectable 50% damage reduction. So let's go and talk a bit about what we're wearing. Gunslinger's Charm, increasing the fire rate, which helps every weapon. The reload speed 20%, which needs these two weapons that we're using because they are very slow when it comes to reload. Micro compressor is basically for the plasma cutter to be more effective. The constant variable ring, the harder your plasma cutter gets, the harder it will be, the more damage it's going to be doing. We have Zania's Malice. If you go ahead and you focus on weak spot damage, you're going to be doing up to 30% more damage, just like that. And finally, the probability cord, which gives us more critical damage. So you can see in our statuses here, we have a range critical chance of 5%, which doesn't seem a lot, but it all adds up, right? So we have 5% out here. Our weapon, you can see there on the statuses, it has 5%, so right there we have 10%. When we activate our ability, well, our skill that we're using, which is Hunter's Focus, we get 10% more. So just over there we have 20% more critical hit chance, right? Which is very good considering this weapon has very high rate of fire. And then we are using Momentum. So normally this build will go with Ingenuity. Basically allows you to use your laser from start to bottom, your plasma cutter, without it ever overheating. So that sounds pretty elite, right? But in this one, but there's a problem with that. First of all, Ingenuity has a secondary perk at the level 10 one that says that it reloads faster if your weapon heat, depending on the weapon heat accumulation. But the point of this thing is that your weapon doesn't overheat. And if you mix it with the micro compressor, then basically you're not overheating at all, which means that the secondary skill is worthless. Then we cannot use rings, constant variable ring either. So I just betted entirely on damage for this build. This is a DPS build. This Stormtrooper build is a DPS build. Everything here equipped is directly linked to the plasma cutter, and it is a plasma cutter build, being honest. Then we have the Atom Smasher, which honestly I don't use a lot. It's here just because it looks good with the aesthetics. I am a Fashion Souls advocate, so whenever I'm doing something for myself, it's going to have maximum synergy even with the looks. That's just how I like doing things. And that's why I'm using the Rupture Cannon. Rupture Cannon can be changed also for the Star Killer, whatever. I don't know. I can't read because my head is there in the middle of the name. But anything that looks kind of like Stormtrooper-y, white, ivory colors, I have it equipped. Then for the relic, you can use whatever you feel fancy. I'm using just a regular Dragon Heart. Skills, we're using Rampage, which we will be stacking with Hunter's Focus for our damage. Increases fire rate 15%, right, on top of the 15% that we already have from the amulet. Gives us reload speed 25%, stacking obviously with the 20% of the amulet. And we have movement speed plus 15%, which stacks with our trade swiftness. So that indeed is 30% movement speed. So whenever we kill, we gain more range damage, and when we reach 10 stacks, the thing just restarts again with double the timer and double the values. So as you can, in my personal opinion, Rampage is the elite DPS skill. If you want to do a lot of damage, Rampage is just, in my opinion, even better than Bulletstorm. Bulletstorm from the Gunslinger is very good, particularly if you're using semi-automatic weapons. But for full automatic weapons, I think Rampage might be a bit better. To each their own, the game gives you like different choices, so that's what we're doing here. And we have Hunter Focus. So basically that's what we're doing here. You can see the traits that we're using. We have Strong Back, Long Shot, and Swiftness at max, Vigor, Endurance, Spirit, Expertise, Siphoner, Bark Skin, Revivalist, Shade Skin. Like all of this works in tandem. Siphoner is actually kind of big because not only stacks with my Mutator here that gives me 3% life steal when I'm using my melee weapon, but this weapon also does a lot of damage. We're gonna see right now. So even 3%, if maybe it sounds like it's a little damage, it is not a little. It's not little regeneration. Like, let's go ahead and do some quick testing before we show you some gameplay. Let's go ahead. Where's my broken heart? So you can basically see, check out my HP. So that's my normal regeneration with what I have for regrowth, right? But if you go ahead and you start doing damage, you can see how the regeneration starts going up, right? So you are actually getting some life back just by doing damage. And that's without using any skills, right? So it's not a whole lot, but it helps. If it's not a necessary one, like that's kind of like preference, you can obviously always optimize. Like in this case, we have like this 4, I would recommend that you have them maxed out, and swiftness is kind of important. From there on, everything else you can choose based on your own playstyle, right? Revivalist is just a recommendation if you're playing with people, right? So let's see what we do. What we do is you go inside, right? You are facing a boss. You're gonna basically stack both your skills. Honestly, that's just what you need. Whenever you're playing against the little guys, you're probably not gonna have to use both of them. You can use either or depending on the situation. But if you're fighting a boss, you just want to dish out as much damage as possible very quickly, and then focus on surviving until they recharge again. You can just dish out that huge amount of damage again. Normally you're going to be playing with other people, so hopefully you have somebody that's either a healer or a support or a tank that can really bring the attention of the enemy and the boss to them, so that you can focus on just doing DPS. Like if you just focus on doing damage, this build does what it needs to do. Before further testing, I just want to say that the side weapon can be pretty much anything. Honestly, I just have this. I just have been testing it. There's no particular reason for this side weapon. It can really be whatever. Same for the melee weapon. It can really be whatever. The only main weapon here is the plasma cutter for this build. Remember also that depending on the range, we're going to be doing different types of damage. Like here to body, well, that was a critical. So 183. Then we go here, 203. Then we hold here, 219. As you can see, the closer we are, 221, the more damage we do. That's because of one of the challenger's perks. So we're gonna be fair, and we're gonna do like a medium distance like this for this test, so that we're not just maxing out damage. But just so you know, the closer you are, the more damage you're gonna do with the challenger. It's just not a realistic situation that you're gonna be just throwing a laser to somebody like this and at this range and they're not gonna attack. It's not very realistic, right? So basically what we're gonna do is this. I don't wanna miss. You're gonna stack both your abilities, both your skills, and you're gonna start shooting. Once your ammunition is about to run out, you're gonna activate your mod, and you're gonna keep shooting. At that point, the Rampage is gonna reach stage 2, and it's gonna reload the weapon a second time, and then we're gonna be seeing numbers 5,000 and over. Yeah. So this is a DPS build. It's all it does. It does it good. It's like a freaking laser icebreaker that you want to bring into any boss fight. If the boss is not extremely mobile, being fair, you probably want to do things with less mobility. The less mobility, the better, because you want to keep your laser on your target as long as possible, basically. So basically, let's go ahead and see the damage here. Remember, you aim, you get focused, you start shooting. You keep an eye on your ammo. As soon as you see it, you're gonna run out. You use your mod. About to run out. But the second part. And you can see that we are going over 5,000 DPS pretty easily. A lot of damage real quick. Now our skills are starting to subside. And when you get that one, then you're done. So you know it's about 140k. This boy creeps behind me and grabs me. So you have around one, depending on the range, you have one... Shut up, bro. We have like between 135 and 145 damage in just between 20 to 30 seconds. So that's what this build does, and that's just what the whole build does. Like, honestly, it's not a very versatile. Normally I do very versatile builds. This one kind of does one thing, but it does it very well. So normally if somebody has having trouble with like a boss, and the boss is not like extremely mobile, I can deal with some mobility. It's just like there's bosses that just go underwater or stuff like that, and like in those cases you need weapons that just dish burst damage, right? This is high constant damage. So without further ado, we're gonna go find somebody to play with, test the build, showcase the build a bit, and yeah, let's see who we find. Okay, so we have like a mini boss or something here. Something killed me. Oh, check this, guys.
Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks.
So that's how it's done. Boss fight real quick, and that way we get some more gameplay. We are helping here Berserk Viking here. Let's go, bro, let's go. Give me a sec, bro. I'm nurturing myself. Nice. Let's go. Oh shit, this boss is a pain in the butt. Let's go, let's go. We can do it. Fucking thing. Some trash, bro. Very uncomfortable fighting with these things from here. Ooh. Don't be floating over me, bro. The fuck? You're not gonna kill me so quickly, bro. Where's my friend? Oh, fuck, he's dead. Come on, homie. Ah, gross. Well, got the job done. And that's what the thing does. Regrettably, you were not able to see very much of the HP of the enemy going down because of my big head. So I apologize for that. Yeah. No, anyways, so there you have it. This is the build. There's no real point in showcasing more of how it's used because it's just what you saw right now. It's just trying to So, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Next time I have something super interesting for you. I have a new type of melee build, hopefully, that if you've been having trouble having fun playing melee builds, maybe this one will help with that. So until next time, and GG, bros. GG.